Loreccraft, Citycraft, Silvermoon City Edition. Silvermoon City is the capital of the Blood Elves, located in the northeastern part of the Eversong Woods within the Kingdom of Quel'Thalas, at the northernmost tip of the Eastern Kingdoms. The breathtaking capital city of the Blood Elves may rival the dwarven capital of Ironforge as the world's oldest still-standing capital. Rebuilt from the devastating blow dealt by the evil Prince Artus, the city houses the largest population of Blood Elves left on Azeroth. Silvermoon presents a very proud and wondrous theme to any who enter. The city is a beacon of culture with beautiful architecture and statues of elven heritage, and the flag of Quel'Thalas is present all over the city. The Blood Elves are a proud people, and thus cover their city in their colours of red and green and gold. Silvermoon today is only the eastern half of the original city. The western half was almost completely destroyed by the Scourge during the Third War. Falconwing Square, the second Blood Elf town, is the only part of western Silvermoon remaining in Blood Elf control. The Dead Scar, the path taken by Artus Menethil and his undead army on the quest to resurrect Kel'Thuzad, which carves through all of Eversong Woods, separates the rebuilt Silvermoon from the ruins of the western half. Interestingly, the ruins of Silvermoon house no undead. Instead, they contain wretched and malfunctioning arcane guardians. As it stands, what remains of Silvermoon City is still bigger than other Horde cities. History of Silvermoon City. The city of Silvermoon was founded by the High Elves to be their capital after their arrival in Lordaeron thousands of years ago. The city was constructed out of white stone and living plants in the style of the ancient Kaldorei Empire and interwoven with the natural topography of the landscape. The city contained the famous academies of Silvermoon as a centre for the learning of arcane magic, and Sunstrider Spire and majestic palace home to the royal family of the High Elves. The Convocation of Silvermoon, also known as the Council of Silvermoon, the ruling body of the High Elves, was also based here. Across a stretch of ocean to the north is the island that contains the Sunwell. Silvermoon City stood for millennia. During the Second War, the city itself was left relatively unscathed due to the efforts of elven magi, who used the powers of the Sunwell to create a magical barrier over the city, making it impervious to the Horde's dragonfire. However, in the Third War, the Death Knight Artus led the Scourge into the city, attacking it on his quest to reach the Sunwell. The High Elven King and the Convocation were slain, and the majority of the population killed. Scourge forces held the city for a time, but abandoned it after the depletion of its resources. Though the city was attacked by the Scourge, the undead left the buildings mainly intact. For a time the city was a ghost town, empty except for dead plants, the occasional body sprawled across the cobblestones, and mournful elven spirits. The only visitors to the city were treasure hunters in search of any valuable artifacts that the elves left behind before they deserted the city. But the ghosts of Silvermoon's past inhabitants made stealing difficult. In World of Warcraft, the Burning Crusade, Silvermoon has become the capital of the Blood Elves. Following the events of the Sunwell trilogy, Silvermoon was retaken by the Blood Elves with the aid of new magics taught to them by Grand Magister Romat, returned from Outland, with the teachings of Prince Kael'thas and the secret protection of Anvina, Avatar of the Sunwell. With the new powers, the Blood Elves reconstructed the eastern half of the city, restoring it to much of its former glory. The western half, however, still lies in ruins in the hands of the wretched. What happened to the ghosts of the High Elves that haunted the ancient halls is not yet known. A great deal of arcane energy has been used. Chained crystals full to the top with harnessed magic now dot the city and power up all the various magical contrivances, including many floating spires and castles. Since the Blood Elves are cut off from the rest of civilization by the dangerous plague lands, an orb of translocation has been made, connecting Silvermoon to the Undercity. Magically automated guardians constantly remind everyone in the city of the Blood Elves' leader and savior, Prince Kael'thas, by reciting lines of carefully worded propaganda. This helps prevent the Blood Elven denizens of the city from forgetting to whom they owe their absolute loyalty. However, in patch 2.4, the Arcane Guardians have been changed to reflect Kael'thas' betrayal and give propaganda referring to Lor'themar Theron as the savior of the Blood Elves instead. Additionally, Silvermoon City Guardians, critiqued by champion Vranesh, no longer praise Kael'thas as the Sun King. The Blood Elves are trapped in a struggle with their hunger for magic, caught between mastering this desire or letting it master them, and the duality of Silvermoon reflects their inner struggle. One side ruined, one side restored to its former glory, magnificent on the outside, lingering darkness on the inside. Small details like floating flower pots and the omnipresent glowing green crystals further underline the idea that the rulers of this city are completely drunk on magic. However, the truly interesting insights reveal themselves when players look closer at what is going on in Silvermoon City, beyond the luscious avenues, behind the rich billowing curtains, like dark and gloomy interiors, and those who explore the other side of Silvermoon City may find that the city's beautiful facade serves only to hide the true, more sinister side of the city. Additional info about Silvermoon. Soren Lightsong is the quest giver for the repeatable Runecloth quest that must be completed by non-Blood Elf Horde players in order to obtain the possibility of riding Hawkstriders, the mount of the Blood Elf race. He actually makes a joke about this when spoken to, saying, "You're merely after a Hawkstrider, aren't you?" As a tribute to the first Blood Elf to hit level 67 during the beta, the Paladin trainer Baki was named after the player Baki. The city's guards, Silvermoon City Guardians, use a distinctly different model than other male Blood Elves, made to resemble the Spellbreakers of Old Quel'Thalas, with tall shields and large glaives. This model is based on an older Blood Elf player model from the Burning Crusade's pre-alpha builds, which were in use at the time of the expansion's announcement at BlizzCon. Arguably the largest city on Azeroth, however, it is still argued even more that Stormwind and Darnassus surpass it, especially after patch 3.0.2 with the opening of Stormwind Harbour. It is amusing to note that the female Blood Elf silly emote, "You mean I'm stuck with this hair colour," seems to be in principle at least quite accurate, as there is no barber shop in Silvermoon City. Those Blood Elves wishing to change their character models must visit another city to do so. The name could be a reference to Silvery Moon, a large northern city in the Forgotten Realms setting of the Dungeons & Dragons universe. Thank you for watching, and as always remember, play to game and game to play.